Hey, Steve Basic Architect. Yeah, we are somewhere called the middle of Norway, but we're touring an elderly facility. So this is going to have 8 units of housing or apartments, whatever you want to call them, for the elderly here. So some of the things are pretty much the same as what we have been seeing, right? Basically that 2x8 wall, which is pretty much the standard, and then that poly wrap with the 2x2 frame and furring there, and obviously that allows all of these conduits to fall within that service channel. You see a bunch of the outlets there, but a couple things that are interesting if we walk down here. One, it's all radiant floor heating, so they don't have air conditioning here, or they don't put it in. It's not that they don't have access to it, they don't put it in. It doesn't get that warm, but they do have radiant floor heating. And one of the things I thought was interesting here was the 2 layers of gypsum board. And I'm assuming this may be a unit in here, and so there's probably a separator that comes off of that wall across, like that column is getting buried in the wall, because there's 2 doors there that are pretty darn close to each other, so they're probably unit right, unit left, and they're doing the 2 layers for acoustical purposes. I know there's a lot of different ways to do it. I don't know if that is the the best way to do it. But the other thing that's interesting is they're doing 2 layers on the inside too. So come over to this wall, you can see 2 layers on that side and 2 layers on the right. And they're just starting to run a bunch of the utilities. You can see those coming out, and there's a bunch of pipes that are up high there that come up. So they love the idea of the drop ceiling, right? If we come in here, you can see a lot of their conduit and all of their wiring goes inside the conduit. But it all basically gets screwed up to the ceiling, and then you'll see there's a whole bunch more up there that hasn't been attached yet, but it's coming out of that top plate to be run across the ceiling. And then, like we have seen at other projects, you can see here, this is one of those bathroom pods, right? So it's prefabricated, dropped in one of the steel columns there, so all pre-planned. This one's a little larger than most, but this one, I believe, we haven't seen the inside of one, but I was told this one has grab bars and everything, so it's handicapped accessible already there. So that's why it's the size that it is. And then, of course, another one there. So my guess is there's probably a wall. You can see they stopped the strapping purposefully on that wall. So there's got to be a demising wall that'll come through here that will then align with that column. And pretty interesting. We'll take a walk around here and see what else we can find. See here, they have a bunch of the insulation, the inner wall insulated, and again they use that poly. It's kind of like a sandwich. I don't know if I find it in favor, but you can see all of the conduit up there waiting to go in. And then of course they get these little 2-inch pieces of insulation that becomes the infill inside of that horizontal utility chase. and a couple more here you can see of the pods. One here, all of the wiring and conduit. There, have some cool little dollies here to move the drywall around the job site. Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot different than what we have seen. The one thing I do like is these windows. I got these from that Nordan company. Zoom in on this, but they're this almost like an Arctic white. It's like a bleached wood. They're actually, you can see it better on the door here. They're actually quite nice. Plus the electrical outlets. This is pretty interesting. How they, you can't pop it off. It's in there. It's tight, but yeah, it's funny seeing all the different things. Outlets, round outlets and switch boxes, pretty much the same, but they're circular in nature. Beautiful country out here, by the way. We are literally in the middle of nowhere, Norway. A lot of rock out here. So, anyways, quick little tour. Go outside. I know there's some cool stuff outside, so let's go check that out.